But that first, so I got a job. Yes, what I did. There was a newspaper called The Recycler, which was you could get everything from washing machines and lawnmowers, cars.
It's still around, isn't it?
Is it? It might be still around.
And it comes in like little magazine things as you're walking on Hollywood. You can open it up and
right. And they had musicians wanted musician things in the back, and I went through this like, what am I going to do? And there was a guy named Slash. Influent needed a bass player. I had a bass. Don't think I had it. I might have had a little amp. Influences are Aerosmith and Fear and Alice Cooper. I'm like, that's right up my alley. Punk rock was the hardcore kind of coming in, taking punk rock out of what it originally was, which was this kind of open thing where everybody was invited, into this more restrictive, uniformed thing. By 84, punk rock was turned into this other thing, well documented. So I looked at this Aerosmith, Fear, Alice Cooper. The guy's name was Slash, and I thought, my name's Duff. He's a punk rock guy now, looking to make whatever's next ours. And I went and met Slash and Steven Adler down at the Cantor's restaurant. Wow. They had a bottle of vodka, and we just talked about music. I had blue hair. They had this long hair, and it was that again was kind of culture shock. I'm sure I was me walking in with like this. I had this my pride. I still have this black and red like John Shaft pimp, long leather jacket and blue hair, and I had an Anarchy A on the back of the jacket. Classic. So I think we probably shocked each other, but we all talked the same language as far as music went. And I went to Slash took me back to his house that night, a few blocks away, his mom's house. He played guitar, and I'm like, "You're not old enough to play like this." Like I'd never seen anybody play like he plays, like he does now. He played like that then.
How old was he then?
We're 19.
So you were all kids.
Yeah. And again, I told you before we started this, like Slash mom was really like cool and generous with me, and I mean, I didn't feel like a young kid. She saw me as a boy alone in LA. Up to me, I'd toured punk rock tours, done all this stuff. I was ready for whatever's next, but she remained in my life, and my wife and kids to come later on in their lives too. But then I met Izzy. Things happened pretty quick, Izzy moved into the shitty apartment building across the street from mine. I saw this guy, looks like Johnny Thunders. He's got like the long pimp jacket too. He's at the phone booth. And we talked, and he goes, "I'm starting this band. Me and my friend, this singer Axel." And I'd seen Slash had taken me to see this gig at the Troubadour, where Axel was the singer of an early version of LA Guns. And I saw this guy come out, and he was like Henry Rollins. He was that intense and real, and like I backed up a few steps, like one of those guys. And I still to this day, I love the people, guys or girls, that scare me somewhat, where I take a couple steps back, because I love that intensity. Iggy had that, Henry Rollins had that, Bad Brains had that, Axel has that. Anyhow, long story short, we started playing, all five of us together, within maybe 4 months of me being here.
So now it's 85?
It's 85. I think our first gig ever was June of 85. I could be completely wrong. Somebody's going to call in and say he's totally wrong. But I think it was June 85 of that five.
Now, at this time, Motley Crue was ripping it up on the Sunset Strip. Right? Who else?
Different world. That was like, they were huge, all those bands.
Motley Crue, Rat, all those type bands were ripping it up at that time.
Yeah, they were a few years older than us.
Right.
I think we really thought whatever we were going to do was going to be completely different. We were going to start something new. And there was that, wasn't much of an age difference, but we had kind of come up from it in a different time than they had. Even the 5 years difference of age was huge.
Huge.
So we definitely were being our own thing. Like we weren't paying attention to Motley Crue or or Rat or anything that was going on the Sunset Strip, which if you came here in '84, you saw all the posters and all the, you know, like it was weird, you know, like kind of almost corporate rock bands, you know, to us. It seemed that way. They had money to make posters and all this like elaborate stage show and we were really more edgy and connected, I think, to the street because that's where we lived. You know, we eventually got a place together behind the Guitar Center. It was just a room.
Wasn't it garages?
It was like it was a storage space.
It's still there.
It's still there.
It's still there.
I drove down there.
I lived on Gardner.
Okay, you
when
did.
I moved to Gardner in '98, that's the first. I mean, there was hookers in front of the building, and you know, it was fucking disgusting. Was it Schrader or Gardner? Gardner's right there, right?
I lived on Gardner.
Yeah. Gardner, Curson,
Yeah.
Sierra Bonita,
Yeah.
and Vista.
Yeah.
Those are the streets, and then you got El Compadre across.
Yeah. Which my wife and I we were visiting Shooter. We'll get into Shooter in a minute, I'm sure. But Shooter was producing. Shooter and Brandy Carlisle were producing a Tanya Tucker record at Sunset Sound. So they invited Susan and I to come and meet Tanya and check out this song. So we go down. This is only a couple months ago. So we're down there. We have a good time. My wife's drinking tequila with Tanya Tucker. It's just amazing, you know. And Tanya's, what a force that woman is. And Susan and I leave and like, let's get something to eat. Let's go to El Compadre. Haven't been there since the 80s.
No.
Let's go. And we get there and they have valet parking now.
Yes.
Do you know this?
Yes, I went by that.
It's fancy.
That's why I don't stop no more.
Yeah.
Because they have valet park. I used to go in there when, you know, it was a fucking wild, wild west.
Totally.
You go in the bathroom, there's Coke on the floor. Fucking, they would close it down.
I left my Coke there?
Yeah. Damn it. It's a crazy place. But I used to stop there on Mondays, and I get the chicken burrito.
Sure.
Fucking delicious. Kurt Fox, the comic, goes to get the chicken burrito.
Yeah.
So I go there and get the chicken burrito. And it's just, but now.
The margaritas were super strong.
Yeah, the margaritas will fuck you up.
Yeah. And so we went to go there, my wife and I, and then we pull, I'm like, I got the secret entrances in the back, in the alley. I go in the back in the alley. That's where, like, there's an outside lounge. There's valet parking there. There's like, sir, there's a 45-minute wait. I'm like, what? 45 minutes. So we didn't end up going.
Yeah, it's busy now.
Yeah.
That's for professionals only. Everybody else goes to the stand that wants to mingle. If you want to get fucked up and see the devil, you got to go to El Compadre. We're going in like fucking Marines. You understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.